उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकी नन्दनाय च ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त नामिने सरस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवती पाश्चात्यदेवतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे कृष्णा. Do you like to recollect, Mataji?
Okay, Prabhuji. So 79 shloka, real greatness of a person is how much he is able to elevate people who take shelter of him. Example, what is the benefit of golden and silver mountain? Trees which have taken shelter of these mountains do not acquire anything or quality, they remain same. But trees who have taken shelter of Malaya mountains get the fragrance of chandana. Although these trees are inferior, they get chandan fragrance. The nature of Krishna is highlighted. Quality of Krishna is Sharanagat Palaka, giving Abhayadan. Malamas, taking shelter of Krishna to become Purushottam Adhik Mas. 80th shloka is nature of saintly person. Three things were highlighted. Body, mind, and words is filled with nectar of meritorious, pious, benevolent deeds. By series of benevolent upkar activities to the three worlds, they remain satisfied. Definition of Duratma, there is no alignment between body, mind, and words. Then third is others who have very minute good qualities. Parmanu. Parmanu means which cannot be further divided. Mahatmas will magnify these qualities as mountains. But such souls are very rare. Then here Lord Shiva's example, Srimad Bhagavatam 4.4, Vitrasur prayers, Vidura to Maitreya. Great philanthropic devotees, they traverse the world on behalf of Supreme Lord to show compassion to fallen souls who are averse to the sense of subordination to the Lord. Then 81 is Dhira. Dhira people who are determined. In Samudra Manthan Leela, the Devatas did not become satisfied by obtaining invaluable jewels, and they did not get afraid by getting Kalakuta poison. Dhira Purusha, till they achieve the goal, will not take rest. Three levels of determination was discussed. Example of Hanumanji, Dhruv Maharaj, this determination. Then the Dhir Purusha is Karya Abhilashi, those who have Manasvi, the steady mind. They are equipoised in all dualities of life, in comfortable and uncomfortable situation. They are all the same. The yogis, they will see the pebbles and gold equal as they focus only on self-realization. Then yourself quoted that if a marble stone is used in the service of the Lord, they would perceive it as gold. And if gold is not used in the service of the Lord, then they would consider it as a mere stone. 83 ornaments were discussed of wealth and power is gentle mannerism. Ornament of a person with valor and bravery is Vak Sanyama, Sanyamo. I've written, I don't know, austerity of speech, that is. Self-control is the ornament of knowledgeable people. That is Brahmana's quality, that is 18.42. Humility is the ornament of those who've studied the Shastras. Ornament of a wealthy person is charity. Ornament of those who perform tapasya is not exhibiting anger. Vishwamitra's example was quoted. Forgiveness is the ornament of a king. Honesty and straightforwardness is ornament of the righteous people. Because at times, certain people do dharmic activities to make a show. They should not have cheating propensities. And last but not least, a good conduct is the source of all virtues. It is necessary for all. Then Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12 was discussed. Then pure devotional service to Lord Sri Krishna is the source of all good qualities. Shilam Param Karanam.
Right. Yeah, thank you, Mata. Last week, discussed the slokas. We'll continue today from 84th shloka. The screen.
Sorry, Prabhuji, just doubt this Barda fire is next to the clouds. I mean, is that what yourself said last time? This Badaba fire is next to the clouds. Adi Parva of Mahabharata, it says that.
There is a Vadaba fire within the ocean.
Okay.
There is a Vadaba fire within the ocean. There is a story connected with that. How this, because Aurva Rishi, who became extremely angry, and yes, I'll tell you the story later. When he became extremely angry, and then his anger had to be subdued, and then he released his anger, and his anger took the form of this Vadaba fire, and this Vadaba fire is actually burning within the ocean.
Okay, thank you.
The anger of Aurva Rishi took the form of the Vadaba fire, and it is there within the ocean. And this description comes in the Adi Parva.
Okay, thank you. So that yourself had quoted in context with how oceans they give shelter to Badaba fire. So that's the greatness of the people, you know. They carry responsibilities and they are immeasurable in their magnanimity.
We'll go ahead. The 84th shloka. This is again the mood of a person. This verse is describing a Dhira, a person with a great determination. Nindantu Neeti Nipuna Yadi Vastuvantu Lakshmi Sama Vishatu Gacchatu Va Yatheshtham Adyaiva Va Maranamastu Yugantareva Nyayat Hatha Pravichalanti Padam Nadhira. So, Neeti Nipunaha. That means those who are expert in morality. Neeti Nipunaha Nindantu Yadi Vastuvantu. Those who are expert in morality, they may criticize me or they may praise me. Lakshmi Samavishatu Va Yateshtam Gachatu. Va means R. Lakshmi, wealth may come to me or wealth may leave me. Yateshtam Gachatu. Maranam Adya Eva Va Astu Va Yugantare Astu. Death may come today itself or death may come at the end of the Yuga. Param Dhiraha Nyayat Patah Padam Api Na Pravichalanti. But those who are Dhiras, they don't deviate from the path of Nyaya. They don't deviate from a path of Nyaya even little bit. Whether the experts in morality may praise them or criticize them, or sometimes when some people criticize us, then we may become depressed and we may start doing wrong things. Or Lakshmi may leave us, or Lakshmi may be there with us, or the death may come today itself or after a long time. But those who are dhiras, they never deviate from the path of morality. Nyayat pataka pravichalanti padam na dhiraha. नीति में पारंगत विद्वान लोग प्रशंसा करें अथवा निंदा करें, इच्छानुसार संपत्ति अपने पास आवे अथवा चली जाए, आज ही मृत्यु हो जाए अथवा एक युग के बाद हो, किंतु धीर लोग न्याय संगत मार्ग से एक कदम भी नहीं हटते. So oftentimes it is said that once the greatness of a person is tested, is determined by one's ability to tolerate provoking situations. Sometimes when there is a prosperity, we may become proud of prosperity and then we may start breaking the rules. Or sometimes when one is depleted of wealth, one may start breaking the rules to earn wealth. Like that, oftentimes we get carried away by the situations, and instead of living our life based on the principles, we get carried away by the situations and we blame the situations for that. So one Pakistani cricketer, after losing to Afghanistan, he said that the reason we lost is that because we didn't get proper diet. I don't know, maybe they were not provided beef or something. He may be telling that. But he said that because we didn't get proper diet, therefore we couldn't eat properly. So oftentimes people blame the circumstances instead of accepting their weaknesses. The other team, they also got the same diet, but they are not blaming. So basically, the man of principles, they never deviate from the principles. However the situation may change, however the people may make comments about them, they may praise them or ridicule them. So this is a verse. A similar verse is spoken by Madhavendra Puri. Madhavendra Puri exhibits a similar determination, but in regards to serving Krishna. Madhavendra Puri says that Muktam mam nigadantu niti nipuna prantam muhur vaidika mandam bhandava sanchaya jadadiyam muktadara sodara Unmatham danino viveka chatura kamam mahadambikam moktum nakshamate managapi manu govinda padaspraham. In this verse also the word Neeti Nipuna comes. Neeti Nipuna Mugdam Mam Nigadantu. Let the sharp moralists accuse me of being illusioned. Muktam. I don't mind. Vaidika, experts in Vedic activities, they may slander me as being misled. Prantam Muhur Vaidika. Those who are experts in Vedic activities may criticize me that I have become misled. Mandam Bandhava Sanchaya. The friends and relatives may call me as frustrated. Manda. Jadadiyam Muktadara Sodara. My friends may call me as a fool. Unmattam Dhanino. The wealthy Mammonites may point me out, may call me as mad. Viveka Chatura Kamam Mahadambikam. The learned philosophers may assert that I am too proud, Mahadambikam. But Moktum na kshamate managapi mano Govinda Padaspruha. But still my mind does not budge an inch from the determination to serve the lotus feet of Govinda, although I am unable to do it. So Madhavendra Puri exhibits a profound determination in regards to serving Krishna. In one class, Gaur Govind Maharaj mentioned, whatever is mentioned in the shloka by Madhavendra Puri, all these things happened in the case of Bali Maharaj. The Bali Maharaj had to face all these things. He was severely tested, but he passed. He gained the strength to tolerate those tests. So yesterday only was 2 days back. I was speaking with one devotee in Chennai. He was telling what all he went through, certain some court cases and how people cheated him, the people whom he trusted, how they cheated him. So then I just told one thing. Yeah, one thing is that Krishna will never test a person beyond one's capacity. But he told that actually it is way beyond my capacity. I couldn't handle it at all. And that he was sharing. So, but in the purport of Bali Maharaj section, Prabhupada says that the way Bali Maharaj was tested, nobody can even imagine. A normal person cannot survive those tests. To that extent, Bali Maharaj was tested. And then Prabhupada also mentions that, but Krishna will never test a person beyond one's capacity. In this world, there's a same exam paper for everyone. For some people, it is beyond that person's capacity to write that same exam. But in the case of Krishna, he never tests a person beyond one's capacity. So here Madhavendra Puri, Bali Maharaj, they exhibited very staunch determination. They were great examples of a Dhira in the determination to serve the Lord. Prahlad Maharaj, how he was given such a severe trouble by Hiranyakashipu, but still he never forgot Krishna even for a moment. This is 84th shloka. We'll go to the next shloka. पतितोऽपि करागातैर् उत्पतत्येव कन्दुकः प्रायेण साधुवृत्तानाम् अस्थायिन्यो विपत्तयः पातितोऽपि करागातैर् पातितोऽपि करागातैर् उत्पतत्येव कन्दुकः. A simple example, a ball when it falls down, but the ball bounces back. It does not remain in the fallen state forever. It remains in the fallen state only for a short time. It again bounces back. Prayena sadhu vrittanam astayino vipattayaha. So in the case of the lives of the saintly people, sadhus, even if they go through difficulties, vipattis, that will not stay permanently, that will stay only for some time. Even if the sadhus, suppose they fall from their position, but they will again bounce back. They will not remain in the fallen position, they will again bounce back. A ball, though thrown down by the strokes of the hand, necessarily rebounds. Even so, the misfortunes of good men are generally temporary. So, if we see in the Shastras also, sometimes even great people commit mistakes. But the greatness of the great people is not that they don't commit mistakes, but how they respond to their mistakes, how they bounce back from their mistakes after realizing their mistakes. That is what actually makes them great. Brahma, in the Brahma Vimohan Leela, he committed a mistake by stealing the cows and cowherd boys of Krishna. But later, when he realized his mistake, he offered such a profound prayers to Krishna. And Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that, may these prayers offered by Lord Brahma lay the foundation of my consciousness. May they become the foundation of my consciousness. So Vishwanath Chakravarti to those one of the longest prayers in the Bhagavatam, 40 shlokas, prayers offered by Brahmaji. So Brahmaji, like if Brahmaji had not committed that mistake, then we would be bereft of such wonderful prayers of Brahma. Those 40 prayers are so profound. They are filled with a deep Siddhanta, devotion. Uh, in one sense, we would not have got those prayers if Brahmaji had not committed the mistake. So, so Brahmaji committed a mistake, but how he actually bounced back, how when he realized the mistake, how he responded. Lord Shiva, he desired to see the Mohini Murti of Vishnu. And he saw the Mohini Murti and he got infatuated. He started running behind the Mohini Murti. Mohini Murti ran in those places where Lord Shiva's uh, devotees were performing austerities, meditation. Mohini Murti ran in those places and Lord Shiva ran behind Mohini Murti. And Lord Shiva discharged the semen. But Lord Shiva, he did not become ashamed. Sometimes when a person commits a mistake, one extreme is that one becomes so shameless after committing a mistake and he may not feel any guilt at all. And this is one extreme. Another extreme is that one feels so guilty that he never comes back again to the association of the devotees. Sometimes one leaves the path ultimately. So actually, one does not come back. One like the whole consciousness is consumed by that guilt, what people will think, and then he never. Our whole consciousness becomes a guilt conscious actually. But Lord Shiva, the way he responded the mistake was that Lord Shiva Atavagata Mahatmya Atmano Jagadatmanah Aparigneya Viryasya Namene Taduhatbutam. Lord Shiva could understand his position and that of the position of the Supreme Lord Vishnu, who has unlimited potencies. Having reached this understanding, he was not at all surprised by the wonderful way Vishnu had acted upon him. Tamaviklavamavridam alakshya madhusudanah uvacha paramaprito bibratswam paurushim tanum. So seeing Lord Shiva unagitated and unashamed, Vishnu was very pleased. Thus he resumed his original form and spoke as follows. Unashamed. So Lord Shiva, he became even more like his consciousness, instead of being consumed by the guilt, his consciousness became consumed by the greatness of Krishna. That he was happy to be defeated by the illusory energy of Krishna. he became even more amazed by the Shakti of Krishna, the greatness of Vishnu. So Bhagavan said that Dishtyaatvam vibudashreshta swamnishtamatmana stitah yanme stri rupaya svairam mohito pyangamayaya. O best of the devatas, although you have been amply harassed because my potency in assuming the form of a woman, because of my potency in assuming the form of a woman, but still you are established in your position. Therefore, may all good fortune be upon you. Konu me atitaren mayam visaktas twadrite puman tamstan visrijatim bhavan dustaram akritatmabihi. My dear Shambhu, who within this world but you can surpass my illusory energy? People are generally attached to sense enjoyment and they are conquered by its influence. Indeed, the influence of material nature is very difficult for them to surmount. So, the material energy who cooperates with me in creation will not be able to bewilder you any longer. The law Vishnu gave assurance to Shiva. So, the great people, sadhus, even if they go through certain misfortunes, even if they say fall down or some difficulties, it is temporary. Prayena sadhu vrittanam asthayanyo vipattayaka. Just like a ball bounces back, the sadhus also, they bounce back from their mistakes. So that is explained here. Next shloka. Alasyam hi manushyanam sharirastho maharipuhu nastyudyamasamo bandhu kurvano navasidati. A very simple shloka. Alasya, laziness. Alasya hi manushyanam sharirastha mahan ripuhu. The laziness is the greatest enemy of a human being. आलस्य मनुष्यों का उनके शरीर में ही रहने वाला भारी शत्रु है. शरीरस्थः महान रिपु. Alasya is the greatest enemy, and this enemy is there in their own body. Sharirastha, it is situated in their own body. Sometimes the enemy is far away, that is one thing, but the enemy is there in their own body. And Udyama Sama Anyaha Bandhu Na Asti Kurvanaha Na Avasidati. There is no a friend like enthusiasm or endeavor. There is no friend like endeavor. He is the best friend of everyone. उद्यम के समान कोई मित्र नहीं है जिसे करने पर मनुष्य दुख नहीं पाता. न अवसीदति. न अवसीदति means by endeavor a person does not get actually it's not going to distress, because even if a person attains success, okay, he will attain a desired goal, he will be happy. Even if a person does not meet with success, but he has the satisfaction, I put my best effort. And moreover, by actually, even if he did not achieve the goal, by putting that endeavor, his mind becomes strong, his muscles become strong. Just like when a person is doing weightlifting exercise, even if a person is unable to suppose lift a certain particular weight, but by that endeavor his muscles become strong. So therefore the endeavor is the greatest friend. So in the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says that alasya is a sign of tamoguna. Tamastvagyanajam viddhi mohanam sarvadehina Pramadalasya nidrabis tannibadnati bharata. The characteristics of tamoguna is that tamoguna is born of ignorance, ajnanajam. Mohanam sarvadehinam. It covers all the living entities. The sign of tamoguna is pramada. Pramada is inattention or madness also it is said. Alasya, laziness. Nidra, excessive sleep. By these three, the tamoguna binds a person. Tannibadnati bharata. So this verse talks about the importance of endeavor. And the Bhagavad Gita also, Krishna says, Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat yakarmakrit karyate hyavashak karma sarva prakriti jayagune. Nahi kaschit kshanamapi jatu tishtat. There is not even a moment. The soul cannot be inactive even for a moment. So when you understand even the nature of the soul, so alasya is something against the nature of the soul. Soul's nature is to be active, but laziness is something opposite to the nature of the soul. Whenever somebody is, whenever anything or a person is not situated according to one's nature, then it can never lead to happiness. This is 86th shloka. The next shloka. Chinnopi rohati tarush chandra kshinopi vardate. Chinnopi rohati tarush chandra kshinopi vardate loke. Iti vimrishantaha santaha santapyante na lokesmin. Simple, beautiful shloka. Chinnopi rohati taru. So chinnaha api taruhu punaha rohati. When you cut the tree, but still the tree starts growing. Chinnaha api, even after even after being cut down, but the tree actually, because as long as the roots are there, the tree actually keeps growing. Again, it starts growing. Kshinaha api chandraha punaha upachiyate. Even after the waning phase of the moon, but again the chandrama starts increasing its form. क्षीण होने पर भी चंद्रमा बढ़ता है. इति विमृशन्तः सन्तः दुःखेषु न सन्तप्यन्ते. The saintly people, great people, when they go through difficulties, they think of this natural phenomena. How the tree, even if it is cut down, it again starts growing. Chandra, even if it starts waning, but again it starts increasing its form. Similarly, the saintly people think about this point during difficulties, and therefore they don't lament during difficulties. But they understand that this difficult phase will remain only for some time. Iti vimrishantaha santaha dukkeshu na santapyante. Dukkeshu, during difficulties, na santapyante. They don't lament. Na santapyante. इस प्रकार विचार करने वाले सज्जन विपत्ति से दुखी नहीं होते. Simple day-to-day example. So I was also giving an example 2 days back. How the importance of transcendental knowledge. The transcendental knowledge, when a person has a transcendental knowledge means essentially when we talk about Gita, the nature of Jivatma, Paramatma, Kala, Karma, and Prakriti. When a person, the sign of a person having transcendental knowledge is that one does not become elated during victory and one does not become depressed during distress. And this point was mentioned by none other than Bali Maharaj to Indra. Bali Maharaj tells to Indra, Bali Maharaj says that Tadidam Kal Rashanam Jagat Pashyanti Surayah Na Krishyanti Na Shochanti Tatra Yuyam Apanditaha. Seeing the movements of time, those who are cognizant of the real truth neither rejoice nor lament for different circumstances. Therefore, because you are jubilant due to your victory, you should be considered not very learned. Should be considered not very learned. So the transcendental knowledge, it acts like a stabilizer. Sometimes when there is a voltage fluctuation in a building, Bombay or in big cities, metro cities, sometimes you may not actually see that. But when you go to smaller towns, you'll see sometimes there are voltage fluctuations. So then what do? They keep a stabilizer. So the electricity is passed through the stabilizer. Stabilizer actually stabilizes it. So transcendental knowledge is like a stabilizer. When there is a great success, the transcendental knowledge stabilizes that person by not allowing oneself to be elated. When there is a distress, the transcendental knowledge again brings a person to a stable condition by not allowing him to be depressed. Even among the psychiatrists, sometimes when a patient is going through what we call as bipolar disorder, bipolar disorder is like something like this. Suppose, just say for example, a mobile phone, suppose you charge for 5 minutes, but it works for next 48 hours. But another time, you put the mobile phone in charging for 10 hours, but it works only for 5 minutes. So it will be something surprising, but that is something like a bipolar disorder. Sometimes a person with he hardly takes rest, but he will work for 30 hours, 24 hours without any rest, without any sleep, too active. But the same person in another phase, he'll be too inactive actually, he'll be completely dull. So when a person goes through such bipolar disorder, what the psychiatrists they do is that they give whatever medicines they give, they will give one medicine, they will give a stabilizer, the mood stabilizer, and along with that they will give other medicines. So the stabilizer will try to bring a person to a stable condition because the person is oscillating between two phases. So therefore, transcendental knowledge also acts like the mood stabilizer, the voltage stabilizer. So this verse is a beautiful shloka. How the saintly people, by thinking about these facts, they don't become depressed when they go through difficulties. Next shloka, very beautiful shloka. नेता यस्य बृहस्पतिप्रहरणम् वज्रं सुरा सैनिकाः स्वर्गो दुर्गमनुग्रहः खलु हरेर् ऐरावतो वारणः इत्यैश्वर्यबलान्वितोऽपि बलविद् भग्नपरैः सङ्गरे तद्व्यक्तं ननु दैवमेव शरणम् दिक् दिक् वृथा पौरुषम्. So this verse actually condemns mere human endeavor, purushartha, and glorifies the destiny. Yasya neta brihaspatihi. That person whose guide is Brihaspati. It is describing about whom? Indra. Yasya neta Brihaspati. This is the first point. Praharanam Vajram. That person who has his weapon as the Vajrayudha. बृहस्पति जिसके पथ प्रदर्शक हैं और जिसका अस्त्र वज्र है. So you see that Vajrayudha is a very great weapon. To have guide as a Brihaspati, it is something. Brihaspati, oftentimes when somebody is extremely knowledgeable, they are compared with Brihaspati. Prithu Maharaj, it is described that Prithu Maharaj in his knowledge was equal to Brihaspati, like that it is described. Sarvam Bhattacharya was incarnation of Brihaspati, such highly knowledgeable. So to have the guide like Brihaspati, to have good guides in life is something. Vamanadev tells to Bali Maharaj, you are extremely fortunate because you have very good guides in your life. For guiding you in the Bhagavata Dharma, Prahlad Maharaj is there as the guide. And for guiding you in this worldly Dharma, you have Shukracharya as the guide. You have Shukracharya as the guide, the descendant of Bhrigu dynasty. So both the guides are excellent from the Vedic authority. Therefore, you are very fortunate. So to have a great guides is very fortunate. So Yasya Neta Brihaspatihi Praharanam Vajram, one who has a weapon like a Vajrayudha. Vajrayudha, with the Vajrayudha, one can make the mountains into pieces. Then you can imagine the power of Vajrayudha. The mountains can be powdered into pieces. Sainikaha Suraha, one whose soldiers are the Devatas. Devatas are his soldiers. Devatas are extremely powerful, but they are his soldiers. Durga Swarga, one whose citadel, fort is Swarga. Swarga is such extremely, the abode of Swarga it is so great that it cannot be easily reached by anybody. That is the fort of Indra. Anugraha Harehe, and he had he is the favorite of Lord Hari. Yes, Anugraha Harehe. Hari also bestows mercy upon him. Varanaha Airavata, whose carrier is Airavata, great elephant Airavata. Khila iti Aishwarya Valanvitaha api Balabit Sangare Paraihi Bhagnaha. Balabit is the name of Indra. So even after having all these things, Indra gets defeated in the battle by the Asuras. What does it say? Tat Vyaktam Nanu Daivam Eva Sharanam Vrita Paurusham Dik Dik. So to fight with one's Purushartha, Paurusham, the human endeavor, the Daivam Eva Sharanam. This verse is emphasizing the importance of the Daiva, the destiny. Therefore, स्वयं बृहस्पति जिसके पथ प्रदर्शक है, वज्र जिसका अस्त्र है, देवगण जिसके सिपाही है, स्वर्गलोक जिसका किला है, अनुग्रह जिस पर श्री विष्णु भगवान का है, ऐरावत जिसका हाथी है, ऐसे ऐश्वर्य तथा शक्ति से युक्त इंद्र भी जो युद्ध में राजाओं से हार गया, तो यह स्पष्ट है कि दैव ही केवल रक्षक है. The destiny is the real protector. निरर्थक पौरुष को बार बार धिकार है. To fight with one's human endeavor. The power of the fate is all in all, to fight on vain human efforts. So this verse is actually glorifying the Daiva destiny. Well, Brihaspati, the Indra, after having all these things, still he gets defeated in the battle. So when we see in the Shastras, sometimes the destiny is emphasized, sometimes the Purusha Prayatna is emphasized. We'll see in the next shloka, the Purusha Prayatna is emphasized. Next shloka. So it depends on, to some people you have to emphasize on destiny, some people you have to emphasize on Purusha Prayatna. Some people who are so lazy, who want to avoid the responsibilities, you may have to emphasize on the Purusha Prayatna. And some people who are putting their efforts but in the wrong direction against their destiny, who are putting their efforts against their natural proclivity, who are putting the wrong direction. For them, you have to emphasize about the destiny. So it is not one pill for everyone. For example, Dhritarashtra asked Vidura, which is more important, Purusha Prayatna or Daiva? Vidura said that Daiva is more important than Purusha Prayatna. Purusha Prayatna is also called as Purushartha. Because why he mentioned that? Because Dhritarashtra, he was putting his effort in the wrong direction. He wanted to be the king and he wanted his sons to be the king. But he is not destined to be the king because he was born blind. And his sons were not destined to be the king because Yudhishthira is the eldest person, he is qualified. But still he was adamant upon putting the endeavor against the destiny. Therefore, Vidura emphasized that Daiva is more important than Purusha Prayatna. And the same question was asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj to Bhishma. Which is more important, Purusha Prayatna or Daiva? Bhishma Dev said that Purusha Prayatna, Purushartha is more important than Daiva. Because Yudhishthira Maharaj was reluctant to take up the responsibility of being the king after the battle of Kurukshetra. He was thinking, oh, because of me, so many people got killed. I am such a sinful person. Because he didn't want to become the king. So that time, Bhishma Dev emphasized Purushartha is more important than Daiva. So therefore, we see that to different people, we have to emphasize something. So some people, those who are lazy, who don't want to put effort, you have to emphasize Purushartha. Sometimes once there was Ratha Yatra was conducted 1970s, and then during the Ratha Yatra, the whole cart collapsed actually. They didn't, the whole cart collapsed. So then the devotees came to Prabhupada and begged forgiveness. They begged forgiveness. They said that they said was that something they mentioned that it was because of Krishna's. They actually they talked about the Daiva. So it was actually Krishna's desire, something like that. The cart collapsed, something like that. Something in that line they mentioned. So then Prabhupada said, no, it is your lack of engineering skill. Because of that, the cart collapsed. They didn't actually design the proper cart. A lot of weight was there in the top, but then the wheels were very they were not capable of holding that weight. Prabhupada said that it is your lack of engineering skill. So they mentioned that maybe it is Krishna's desire that is why the cart collapsed. So Prabhupada said that no, it is your lack of engineering skill that is the reason the cart collapsed. So sometimes the people when they put the blame on the Daiva or Krishna, uh, not understanding their lack of effort. That time the Guru detects that and then says that no, you didn't put the proper effort. Enthusiasm means what? Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. That is called enthusiasm. You have to put endeavor with intelligence and in Krishna consciousness. So sometimes the Guru emphasizes upon the Purusha Prayatna. And sometimes one emphasizes upon the Daiva. When a person is putting the effort in the wrong direction, one emphasizes upon the Daiva. And Prithu Maharaj was performing the 100th Yagya. Indra was coming and stealing the horses again and again. And in the dress of a sannyasi, and many people were taking wrong inspiration from this example of Indra stealing the horse in the sannyasi vesha. So many people thought that if we also do such activities uh, in the dress of a sannyasi, we will not get punished. And then in that way, many apasampradayas started. Uh, so, so at that time, Brahmaji comes and tells Prithu Maharaj. Brahmaji comes and tells actually Prithu Maharaj that you please stop performing the 100th yajna. So he said, what Brahmaji said was that, Masmin Maharaja Kritasma Chintam Nishamayasmad Vacha Adritatma Yadhyayato Daiva Hatamnu Kartum Manoti Rushtam Vishate Tamundam. My dear king, do not be agitated and anxious because your sacrifices have not been properly executed due to providential impediments. That means by the Daiva. Kindly take my words with great respect. We should always remember that if something happens by providential arrangement, we should not be very sorry. The more we try to rectify such reversals, that means against the Daiva when we put effort, the more we enter into the darkest region of materialistic thought. So therefore, when a person puts endeavor against the Daiva, then he will go further, will go into the deep into darkness. So sometimes the saintly or a religious person also has to meet with reversals in life. But such incidents should be taken as providential. Like Indra had to get defeated with Asuras, but it has to be taken as providential. Although there may be sufficient cause for being unhappy, one should avoid counteracting such reversals. In those cases, one has to stop putting the Purushartha. For the more we become implicated in rectifying such reversals, the more we enter into the darkest regions of material anxiety. So Lord Krishna also advises in this connection, we should tolerate things instead of becoming agitated. So when to put Purushartha, when to put Daiva, when to put Purushartha, when not to put Purushartha, that is important. So there's a beautiful shloka which emphasizes about importance of Daiva. So the very next shloka, he talks about importance of the this also talks about importance of Daiva. About Purushartha, we'll see in the next shloka. Bhagnashasya karanda pindi Bhagnashasya karanda pindita tanor mlanendriyasya kshuda Kritva kurvivaram swayam nipatito Naktam mukhe bhogina Triptastat pishitena satvaramasau Tenaiva yatapata Loka pashyata daivameva hinrnam Vruddhau kshaye karanam. So we'll end with the shloka. So there's a short story is mentioned in the shloka. Lokaha, hey lokaha, that means hey people of this world. Hey people of this world. Hey manushya, like that is calling. Pashyata, see. Akuhu naktam vivaram kritva भग्नाशस्य करण्डपिण्डिततनोः क्षुधा म्लानेन्द्रियस्य भोगिनः. Akuhu means what? Akuhu refers to rat actually. So this actually is talking about the, no, it is talking about a, one second, it's talking about a serpent. One second. Yeah, Akuhu refers to a rat, Mushaka. So Akuhu naktam vivaram kritva भग्नाशस्य करण्डपिण्डिततनोः क्षुधा. So there is a, so the story is simple actually. So what happened was that a person has caught a snake and he has put the snake in a wooden box. And the snake is actually is practically has become very thin and lean. There is no food and there is absolutely no way to escape. No way to escape and no food at all. And the snake had lost all the hopes of living. And it had become very thin and lean and exhausted and having lost all hopes of living. So at that time, there was a rat. The rat was actually searching for the food. And the rat put great endeavor. In which direction? The rat put great endeavor to make holes in that particular wooden box. It put great endeavor to make holes in that wooden box, and then with that hole, by putting that hole, it entered within that hole. And then this snake, which had lost all hope, all hopes of living, was about to die. At that time, the rat came inside. And the snake actually ate that rat, and then it came out of that hole. It came out of that hole, and so its book, its hunger got satisfied. It gained strength, and it escaped from that box also. So you see here in this story, there's a simple story in the story. Who put the endeavor and who didn't put the endeavor? Here the rat put great endeavor, but the destiny of the rat was that it is supposed to die. And the snake did not put any endeavor at all. But the destiny of the snake is that it is not supposed to die at that time. So the story shows that how the destiny is more powerful than the effort. Because without putting endeavor, the snake actually, because of the power of destiny, the snake got escaped. And the rat, even after putting great endeavor, because the destiny is more powerful, the rat got killed. So that is the story mentioned here. निराश पिटारी में दबे शरीर वाली तथा भूख के मारे शिथिल शरीर वाले सांप के मुंह में चूहा स्वयं छेद करके चला गया और सांप उसके मांस से तृप्त होकर शीघ्र उसी रास्ते से बाहर निकल गया. हे मनुष्यो देखो भाग्य ही मनुष्य की बढ़ती और नाश का कारण होता है. So this verse is actually glorifying the bhagya. पश्यत आपुः नक्तं विवरं कृत्वा भग्न आशस्य करण्ड पिण्डित तनोः क्षुधा म्लानेन्द्रियस्य भोगिनः मुखे स्वयं निपतितः असौ तत् तत्पिशितेन तृप्तः तेन एव यथा सत्वरं जातः. With the same hole which rat made to enter in that box, the same hole the snake escaped after eating that rat, after eating the flesh of that rat. And the snake had lost Bhagnashasya, it had lost all the hopes to live. Karanda Pindita Tanoho, because of the extreme hunger, it had become very thin and lean. Mlanendriyasya, all its senses had become very lean. But still, the snake was supposed to live, so therefore the snake escaped. So, Daivam eva nrinam vruddhau kshaye cha karanam bhavati. So, these two shlokas which we are reading, 88 and 89, they glorify Daiva. And then we will see, I think, next shloka onwards, how they emphasize about the importance of the Purushartha. And we will also see some shlokas. Shlokas we saw before also, we will see some shlokas. And in our life, when we are dealing with different people, we have to know when to emphasize on the Daiva, when to emphasize on the Purushartha. So Krishna speaks about 5 factors of action. Adhishtanam tata karta karanam cha pratak vidam vividah cha pratak cheshta daivam chaivatra panchamam. So sometimes when a person meets with failure in an endeavor, and he may put the blame on the Daiva only. Oh, the Lord desired it, Krishna desired it. But he may not, without thinking that, oh, he didn't choose the right field of action for the endeavor, or he didn't put the full endeavor in the direction. Without introspecting all these things, he only puts the blame on Krishna, maybe Krishna's desire. So if a person had taken care of all the other 4 factors, right place of action, right instruments, and full complete endeavor, after that, if he had met with failure, then we can say it is Krishna's desire, it is destiny. So, to such a person, we have to say, okay, it is your destiny, you are not going to get. So, therefore, stop putting endeavor in this direction. Maybe you can put endeavor in some other direction. You are not destined to attain success in this direction. Like that, one has to give advice. But without having put complete endeavor, if he puts the blame on Krishna's desire, destiny, then we have to emphasize on no, Purushartha. So when to emphasize on Purushartha and Daiva is important. So this is the 6 shlokas we saw today. The first shloka was that we saw about the determination, how that a determined person never actually deviates from the path of dharma. We saw the example of Madhavendra Puri, Bali Maharaj. And then we saw how a saintly person bounces back even if he falls down, Brahma and Shiva. And then how the idleness is the greatest enemy and endeavor is the best friend. And then we saw that how a great person, saintly person, when he goes through distress, he does not lament. Understanding even the distressful situation only stays for some time. We discussed about the importance of knowledge, importance of transcendental knowledge acting like a stabilizer. And then we discussed how the power of Daiva from this example of Indra, and then the story of the rat and the snake. Hare Krishna. So 89 shlokas are over. We are slowly come to the ending of Neeti Shataka. 108 shlokas are there. If anybody wants to say something?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So this I gather from whatever yourself is mentioning about this daiva and all, that the more and more you are tuned into real yoga, like more and more you're connected to the supreme through whatever devotional practices you do, you get guidance from within, Paramatma, like that, okay, you should stop this or you should carry on with it. So because you really don't know that what time period, like just cannot say, okay, I'm going to try this for like for the next 2 years or 3 years or whatever. But I mean, that time period, I wouldn't I don't know, like, if I'm into something and then I say, okay, I give this 2 years time, but then maybe it will fructify and I've just left it, you really don't know. So and maybe I don't have expert people around to guide me at that very moment, because in that field, so because you can't trust everybody all the time. So this is my realization
Mm.
in today's lecture, that more and more you're connected to the supreme, you'll get guidance from within. Am I on the right track?
Yeah,
Or
that's true. Sometimes life situations are such that you may not be able to consult people all the time. But sometimes certain situations are, it may be unique that you have to take a call. You may have to take a call depending on Krishna within. And then generally when a person is sincerely executing, then Krishna also gives some guidance, some intuition comes. So yeah, usually our Purushartha is supposed to be put in the direction of our Dharma. Purushartha should be put in the direction of destiny. That means what? Purushartha should be put in the direction of our Dharma. Anything Purushartha put against the direction of our Dharma, then that will complicate. For in the case of Krishna told Arjuna, Shreyan Swadharmo Viguna Paradharmo Sunekata. Better to put your Purushartha according to your Swadharma. Instead of putting your Purushartha to become a sannyasi in the forest, performing somebody else. So generally, putting Purushartha in the direction of destiny means basically performing again according to one's dharma, and according to one's natural propensity, according to one's dharma. So oftentimes in Kali Yuga, instead of like for example a student or something, instead of understanding what one's dharma, one's nature, putting in the direction, he gets carried away by the what is the prevalent crowd, what is the atmosphere in the college society, and then puts effort in that direction, which is not according to one's dharma. So then one realizes the mistake maybe after some years, some after decades. It was not my original intention. This is of course in regards to this one. Apart from that, yeah, we have to, the more a person is properly connected to Krishna, based on the intuition, we have to put endeavor. Very much.
so when yourself mentioned about Indra having the whole team, like, with everything, right guidance and
Mm.
Krishna's mercy, etc. So this is Bhartahari speaking, right? Or yourself mentioned it in the shloka? I mean, who's
No, that,
speaking
that is
this?
direct. No, that is directly the sloka Bhartrharis.
Okay, so it seems that he is quite favorable to, I mean, more towards, like, some of the shlokas it gives priority to Lord Shiva, and because I've been when I was writing and reading, it seemed, but now when he's speaking about Vishnu being on Krishna, on Indra's side, so it seems that he's not an impersonalist. He's quite a devotee, like, that's what I'm feeling now.
Because we have Bhartrhari, I read elsewhere. Bhartrhari was an impersonalist or an Advaitavadi. But that doesn't matter. That's what I read elsewhere. But mainly we are seeing this Neeti, his other philosophy and transcendence, what is belief, that may be there in other books. There are many grammarians also. They are maybe Advaitavadis or impersonalists. But in the field of grammar or in the field of Neeti, in the field of Nyaya, they have done great work. So we learn that aspect, not the philosophy and Advaitavada or something. So many times it is like that. Actually. For example, there are other Bhartrhari has written many books on Sanskrit grammar. He is considered to be a very one of the expert grammarian. Neeti also, but I read elsewhere that he is considered an Advaitavadi.
Yeah,
Right.
thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Next week we'll continue from 90th shloka. We'll stop here. Thank you very much.